I'm Vance Bastion here with my co-host S.A. Baz Collins for this week's Written on the Edge Season 10 Episode 6 update. That's right, we don't have a guest this week. There was a conflict in the family. So instead, we're going to update you on our Written on the Edge Spotlight series and give you an idea as to why it's important, why we're doing it, and why it's crucial that the discussions happen because, frankly, we can't just hide and hope it goes away this time.
Yeah. I made reference to an episode, and now the audios are going to be going up. All of our archival audio that is up on our website at ropepodcast.com. I'm going back and I'm now going to be adding them as an archival episode to our Rope channel, our main Rope channel. The Spotlight one that we're talking about is going to be a separate channel. And we're starting it off because of a call from Hassan Piker and the Vanguard and all of these progressive liberal left-leaning voices have put a challenge out and want other left-leaning voices to come out and join them so we can create a vlogosphere, a commentary, a network, if you will, that answers to the rights side of it. So one of the things Vance and I want to do, because hey, we come from the Gen X phase where we were fighting for our rights and our lives literally during the 80s and 90s. So we want to do what we've always done. Our generation has always done. We've always stepped to the fore when we needed to. So in our doing this for Spotlight, we're actually going to be talking about very topical issues, but with an eye to evergreenness, because we're going to talk about them more conceptually and from a propagandist kind of view, in that not that we're doing propaganda, but that we're highlighting how to recognize propaganda and
Mhm.
how to reason and discern and separate the pearls from the swine. I'm using the right one because you'll find out in one of our episodes I used a really weird
He did.
comparison, and Vance had to correct me. So, but the whole thing is we want to be able to bring you topical things that we find very interesting that affect the queer community and the larger mainstream community. But we are looking at it obviously from our slant of being two queer men from a certain generation. And the fact that we have lived through a lot of things like this, not to this extreme, this is definitely the most extreme we've ever felt, but we've been through things like this and we know how to recognize and how to sort the stuff out.
Hmm. So,
So I have I have a little list. Sorry, I did the Mikado and that's the song. So anyways, I have a list that I've been building, and in fact, I have many lists that I'm fleshing out based off this little list. And I call it the Lost the Plot list because it's where I think society is like going awry. And people are misinterpreted things, so taking information in and they're not processing it fully. They're not fully thinking out the situation. And I use the phrase, where they say words have power, but the other side of it is they only have the power that you give them. It's that kind of thinking beyond what we know to be a thing. So this is kind of my mental floss list. I just things that I'll hear people randomly talk about. If I'll overhear something, I'll jot it down. If it's a title or a subject I see fly by on social media or on YouTube, I write it down because at this point, well, one, I'm older than, you know, dirt, but I need to like have a running list of things that I think are pertinent and should come to the fore in your world. So I'm trying to shortcut things, and Vance and I distill them, figure out what's our take on it, and we'll comment on them. Now, neither Vance or I are experts in any of these fields. However, what we do bring to the table is we have a very, very strong sense of cynicism. When someone merely tells you something, you still do the work. You still reason, use your brain as well, Rosie, why don't you tell them?
That's that lump 3 feet above our ass, right, Jimmy?
So use that lump that's 3 feet above your ass, and actually put some effort in, because now is not a time to go brain dead. Now is not a time to say, "Oh, I'll just watch more cat videos and that will get me through." No, darling, because if you're not paying attention, they're going to find ways to sap your bank account. They're going to find ways to remove your ability to earn. They want the populace dumb and poor. Make that very clear. They want us dumb and poor.
Hmm.
Always, always, always have that in the forefront of your mind when anybody says something. Just keep that in the forefront. If you hold on to nothing else we say, hold on to that thought, because that's the game that's in play now. And our Democratic representatives need to get on that page and stick with the message. The time for infighting is long over.
Hmm.
One thing Republicans do very well is they get on message, even if it's a fuck shit message. They get on message and they stay on message. Even if it's a lie, they will ride that horse into town and make sure everyone knows that people need to start paying attention to this lie as the truth. And
Hmm.
unfortunately, a lot of people in society, because life is tough. Nobody said this was going to be a ball, kids. Life is tough and people are overworked and they are tired. I get it. But I'm not asking of you what I don't do, you know. So it's not that I'm asking you to go above and beyond, but use that lump that's 3 feet above your ass. Put it to use. Start to be very discerning of where you get your news. And speaking of which, hey, Ground News, if you want to be a sponsor for us and help us bring out the word, we will definitely do that. We will highlight your channel like all get out because I use it on a daily basis. So, anyways, that's my little uh, brief shout out and saying, hey, we could be a spot. We would take you as a sponsor. We love you.
So
Shameless
just
plug.
just to give you a preview of what you can expect from Rote Spotlights, some of the topics we've already recorded and will be releasing at the end of this week are things like why does general America hate intelligence?
Yeah,
Tariffs, and I've done my historic research into tariffs. Alexander Hamilton started them. He sure did, but they're not being used in the manner that is effective. So things like that we deep dive into, share some history on, share some current events on, and then invite you to the discussion. That's what you can expect on our
yeah,
Spotlight channel.
exactly. And just realize that, this is a labor of love for Vance and I. Though we want it to become successful so that we both can devote our full time to it, that it becomes our job to bring these things to you.
Mm,
We fully are, our hearts and our souls are into this because we recognize the absolute danger we are in. Children on TikTok, you need to really start paying attention. Really start paying attention. This is going to affect you far more than it affects us.
right,
So we're trying to bring things to you that engage you and get you to start doing the work if you're not already. All right.
right.
Um, Go ahead.
I was going to say, it's dovetailing on that, because keep in mind that every political stone that they throw into the pond sits there for 8 to 12 to 24 years, which means for the next 24 years, you'll be dealing with the repercussions of the decisions the Orange Menace is making these last 2 weeks.
Yeah, we all know Lord Damnut doesn't do his damn research. Nobody does. All
Mm,
they know is enough to tear shit apart. And
right,
always bear in mind that chaos is the point. Chaos and cruelty. That's the point. That's what they're doing. Everything they say and do has chaos and cruelty at its heart. So, well, it has no heart. It's a fucking black heart. But
so
I may from time to time, I'm not going to make it a thing all the time, but I may swear like a sailor if my hackles get up. And as Vance will attest, they can get riled very quickly.
mm-hmm. Yep. All right, do you want to share the @ handle at YouTube?
Yes, the @ handle is @wrote spotlight. So definitely take a look at that. As he said, we will have our first 5 episodes up because that's the latest thing on the algorithm, that when you launch a channel, you need to put at least 5 episodes up so the algorithm can figure out what it's all about, and then start to figure out what audience to push it to. So we are answering the call, letting the Vanguard, leftist media, our leftist mafia, and all the other channels, Hassan Piker, we're joining the fray. We're doing our part from the queer community. From time to time, we may do shout outs, not necessarily as a shout out to people, but we will definitely credit them if we viewed something they talked about from our sphere, our vlogiverse sphere, that we may want to highlight to bring to your attention. Our intent is not to subvert the algorithm, but just merely bring you things that you can pursue and go down the rabbit hole. So from time to time, we may bring you those kinds of things, but we will always credit the source of where it came from in our B-roll as we're talking about it. And so you will at least have a jumping off point. So we want to kind of be the Wikimedia of this whole thing. We want to be able to bring things to you, tell you what our take is, and have you dive in and start doing the work yourself. So that's the idea behind that. So the last thing I want to bring up for Rope Podcast, this is definite Rope Podcast news, is our Patreon is growing. I have a ton of new stuff going on. I have not released anything so far this year on reactions, and that is because I'm rehauling the old way of doing it, because the copyright strikes and the copyright blocking is becoming much more stringent. So I'm trying to come up with a way that will allow us to put up the reactions in short form on YouTube that will be the least affected, but at the same time gives you a taste of what the full versions are that are on Patreon. So we have some amazing stuff up there that is only on Patreon. We have Penny Dreadful, City of Angels up there. We have musicals like Victor Victoria that's up there. There are things that we have that are full-blown reactions that are only available on Patreon. And the nice thing is Patreon has allowed us to start selling them individually, so you don't have to do a full monthly subscription. If there's a movie or a TV series that we have reacted to, you can actually purchase the episode and watch the full version on your device, and you can only $3 for the episodes and $5 for a full film reaction. So eventually I may put some collections together, so like you can have like several comedies that we've done or several dramas we've done. So I'm going to do that, and those will be of a higher price range, but just letting you know it is an option rather than doing a month-to-month donation, which we gladly accept and very humbly thank you for it. But the whole idea is we want to make this channel sustainable. We're not looking to be millionaires. If it happens, it would be nice, but we're not looking to be millionaires. The idea is we want to get this stuff out to you. We want to make this channel valuable to you and a way of giving you a hit list of what to pursue. Right. That's really our goal. That's why we've been running Rope Podcasts. We want it to be a repository and a place you can come to when you're looking for your next queer media consumption. We want you to be able to find these things. So we've built this literally 10-year database of all these queer content creators and our allies who create stuff for our community. And we want to highlight and bring them to you so you can actually look into their works and possibly pick it up as your next queer content consumption. So vote with your dollars. It's important, kids. Vote with your dollars.
All right. And with that update, I just want to extend a huge thank you to you for following us, for being with us all these years, for supporting us, for believing in us, for allowing us to bring you queer content media. Thank you. We at Written on the Edge are proud to introduce you to new media by queer content creators. So if you enjoy learning about new artists, please like and subscribe so you get the alerts for new episodes. The show is produced by Rogue Ravens Media. For our links, our social media channels, our listen stations, or even just to sign up as a guest, visit www.ropepodcast.com. Tune in next week for your queer media fix.
Bye-bye now.
Oh, what's that? Closing time. The bums rush in melody, dear.